In this video, I will show you how to do advanced modeling in ETABS using the newly updated tools. First of all, we'll define the grids using the custom settings. Define the grids arbitrarily since our structure is cylindrical in shape. Now, we need to modify the grids into the cylindrical system. First, we'll go to Edit, Stories and Data, then modify the grids. Select the cylindrical grids option. Mark the center for the grids. I mark the center for the grids arbitrarily as 40 feet and 50 feet in y direction. Rotation means that how much your grid should be rotated. Since the building is circular, so I selected 360 degrees. 360 divided by number of grid lines. So it gives us a complete circular grid system. We may set the grid system visibility since we want to see only the circular system, so we hide the rectangular system. Now we'll define the materials. The material for other structural member is 4000 ksi, while for walls we need to define 6000 psi. Now the sections for beams and columns. First, starting with beam. Let's call it as B12. Dimensions are 24 and 12. Set the property modifiers according to ACI code. Since will be using ACI code if we ever want to design this building. You may check out our designing videos for the reason since it's only a modeling video. Now selecting the parameters for columns cross section. The diameter is 14 inch. Setting property modifiers according to ACI code. Select column. OK. Wall sections. The wall is 12-inch thick, shear wall. Selecting the material and property modifiers in bending. Since it's just a modeling phase, so it's not necessary, but just in order to emphasize on the proper steps. Now the slab sections. Name it as S6 since it's 6 inches. You may see an option with shell thin or other option given as membrane. If we select membrane, then it will act as a sheet and transfer all of the load to the beam and column, and the software will not consider the stiffness of the slab. So we select shell thin. so that the stiffness of slab is also considered, and set the property modifiers according to ACI code. Now modeling the structure. Drawing the shear walls. Now we will be drawing columns, selecting the cross section of the column which we defined. Now we need to draw the arcs for the slab edges. We select radial extension and pick the center coordinate for the circle or the arc. The angle will usually be specified as 5 degrees since we want our lines to be at 5 degrees. Bring the cursor on OK so that you may have an idea, and press OK when you want that to be incorporated in the model. Now repeat the process for this other column. -5 degrees since it is in the other direction. You may see that we selected the wrong center point, so the circular arc was not formed properly. Now pick the proper point. Press OK. Now delete the extra lines. Since it was combination of lines as the number we entered. Now select the option for reshape object in order to properly join the beams. Now we may replicate this arc to the other side of the building by using the mirror command, for which you need to enter the coordinates of the dividing line about which it has to be mirrored. Select the objects which you require to mirror on the other side. Now go to edit and replicate. Go to the mirror option and enter the coordinates for the mirror line. Since the center coordinate is x40, y50, so we need to enter these coordinates for the mirror line. X will be fixed and y will change since it's a line. Now drawing the other frame members. Now we will draw the slab, selecting the cross section for the slab which we defined. If you mistakenly assign two slabs at one place, and you may delete one, as ETABS will consider twice of the stiffness in that area. Since we selected the shell thin option, so we had to mesh the slab, but now we are applying slab in parts, so we will not require to mesh it any further. The slab shall be at least meshed in 3 feet by 3 feet areas so that the results are refined. But since in this video our concern is not analyzing the model but just to model the framing, you may find the analysis and modeling tutorials in previous videos in the ETABS playlist. Now we have completed the modeling of one floor. So now we will replicate it to other stories. Select what you need to replicate, go to edit and replicate the stories. Since it's heavy model, so it takes time to replicate. Press OK. You may turn the grid visibility off in order to speed up the rendering. Now we need to rotate the floors. The story 1 will remain in its position while story 2 and further on will be rotated until the last story reaches a total of 180 degrees. So we need to divide the 180 degree angle in the stories. Since it is a 25-story building and the story 1 remains in its original position, so we need to divide the angle between the remaining 24 stories. Rotate every story by a multiple of 7.5 degrees. Story 2 by 7.5 degree. Select the delete original object option. Apply. Now the story 3 by twice of 7.5. Similarly, story 4 by thrice of 7.5. And story 5 on 4 times of 7.5, and so on. Now view the tower in 3D. If you want to see how the structure is designed, please visit the channel and select the playlist tab and go to ETABS tutorials. Thank you for watching.